Hey, good evening, and welcome once again to an episode of the Step Up, Make a Difference podcast. I'm Mike Peacock. I'm back now. Hit the wrong button. I was switching my camera angle a little bit. Hit the wrong one. But that's okay. A little technical difficulty. No, that's not a technical difficulty. That is a human error, and that's completely on me. Marty, how are you this week?
Oh man, I'm good, Ross. It's great to be back in here today. Good to see you. Things in Cartersville, Georgia, North Georgia here, been rainy and
Hmm.
just sweltering hot. I'm a South Georgia boy from Bainbridge and Atticus, I'm used to the heat. But I thought in North Georgia I was going to get a little reprieve, but no, not going to happen.
Yeah, I guess not. Not this time of year anyway. We started out the day here in the Columbus area with a lot of rain, and as the afternoon has gone on, it's now a beautiful sunny day out my window right next to me here, and but I'm sure it's hot. I have not been out. Watched the little Braves, and I've been watching golf. And one of my, I'm an Auburn fan, and one of the Auburn golfers who just turned pro is about to get his first professional win in 3M Open, Jackson Coiven, and that's been a little fun to watch him do so well. But it's been a busy week, busy time for us in my regular job, and of course here all of us at Georgia Alabama Sports Live are counting down the days until high school football starts and high school softball starts and high school volleyball starts. So it's coming up on us really quickly. School's going to start in about a week and a half, Marty. For all the kids, and then colleges are going to follow right behind that very soon after. So it's getting to be a busy time, and summer is dwindling away very fast.
Yes, and I'm telling you, me personally, I'm ready to get back in it. After about 2 weeks, my vacation tolerance is over. Hey, have we got a great guest today or what?
Yeah,
Man, Coach,
an old friend of ours from way back, and he's been with us before in the early days of the first year of our podcast, and he's coming back to join us again, and let's go ahead and bring him in. And that is the head coach, the head men's basketball coach at Columbus State University, and that is the one and only Robert Moore. And Robert, welcome to the podcast again. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday evening, and hope you're doing well.
All right, thank you guys for having me, man. It's like I say, when you get to get on here with two great friends like Mike Peacock and Marty Durden, you cannot turn down the invitation. So I'm happy I'm here, and just love you guys. Been around you guys for a long time. Mike, you might not know this. I shared an office with Marty Durden at Brookstone, and
Yep.
learned a lot of wisdom. And I told him, it's one of those things where I think God put people in your life for a reason. And me and Marty became great friends, and he was somebody I could depend on and help me through my stint over at Brookstone, and he just became a great friend after that. So,
Well, that guy in the light blue shirt right there has done that for a lot of people, Robert. He's had a great influence on many people. He's just that kind of person, and if you get to spend time with him, you can't help but love him.
hey,
His old ball head and all. You can't help but love him.
you can't meet a better guy, man. And
No, sir.
me and him go to the same barber, so
yeah,
we kind of look alike.
Robert and I have a lot in common, man. We used to have this place where we like to eat in Columbus too, and closed the whole thing down. I think we put them out of business, Robert. I don't know if we ran them off, but
I know that's right.
I tell you, I'm just honored and so much respect for Coach Robert Moore and what you are as a man and what you are as a coach, a father, a husband. You just they don't come any better in my book, and we're honored to have you on here and let you share with the audience things because you have the heart of a coach. And do you agree with me that that's basically you teach and coach from your heart?
Oh yeah, Marty. My biggest thing, I said, you got to love people, and I just love people, and developing those relationships over the years and getting to know people and getting to know your players and influencing young people has really been, what I'm all about. So, like you say, man, I just think, if you can't be a good person, you can't be a good coach. And I start there. So that's the thing.
It starts with loving your players, doesn't it? I mean, if you don't love young people, I don't know why you want to go in the business we're in,
I know they drive you crazy sometimes, but you got to still love them.
That's for sure. Well, Robert, when you and I first met, we sat across a cubicle wall from each other in the basement of Woodruff Gym, and you were the lead recruiter for Herbert Green, and I could tell then that you loved those guys and you loved that game of getting out and finding those guys, building relationships with them, and bringing them in. And that has continued to develop. And now you, as a head coach, you still love that part of the game. You love the recruiting process. Right. You love getting to know these kids, getting to know their families, and just talk about that a little bit.
And Mike, it's funny that you say that. I want to share a story with y'all. I was in the gym last week on a Wednesday night. Just got out of church, and I just stopped by the gym. My assistants had a little pickup game going on. And all my former players that play overseas came back and play in that pickup game. And they sat down there for, I bet, 30 minutes and just talked about the one time Coach Moore lit fire under you, whether it was in the locker room, on the bench. And I mean, I just had the best time of my life for those 30 minutes, just talking about old stories back in 2018, 2019. It just went on and on. And, I tell people, I say, when I stopped loving those guys and loving those stories and the relationships we build, I'm going to get out of the game. And it's just been fun for me. The older I get, the more I enjoy just going to the gym and developing those relationships with those guys. And like you said, with recruiting, it's so different now with NIL money, guys, transfer portal. But you got to still have that relationship with those guys to make them understand. It might be a business side to this basketball thing, but we also got to respect one another and do things right. And I think my guys over the last couple of years have really made a difference in the community service, just going out and making sure they're doing the right thing. So it's been fun.
Looking back on your life the older you get, Coach, the more you seem to, your looks become longer, and every year. And you remember so many things, but the biggest reward from coaching is not the wins and losses and the trophies and the money. It's those, just what you just said, it's those people, those relationships that you touch those lives and they touch yours.
Oh, yes. Ja'Cory Payne was there. He's playing overseas now. He was in my wedding. So just thinking about all those guys and the things that you have developed with them and going through with them, and it pours your heart into those. And then your new group coming in, we got some 4 or 5 new players coming in this year, just getting to know those guys and getting that time to spend with them and their families. And that's the best part of the game, no matter how many championships you win.
Yeah.
And Robert, I want to bring up something. And we may have talked about this a little bit the first time you were on the show, but you had a guy come in last year and hadn't been here very long, and then he got some really bad news.
Yes.
And it was one of your main players that you had recruited. Great height, I think 6'10", something like that, and he got diagnosed with a form of cancer. And he went through his whole treatment process, missed the entire season.
Right.
But just talk about going through that with that young man and his family.
And Mike, and before we go through it, I just want to thank the city of Columbus. I want to thank the people of Columbus, my athletic director, Justin Hay, our president. All those people did a lot of things to help this young man. And, people in the community gave to him as far as medical bills. And it was just not, his family getting him through cancer. It was the whole community of Columbus. And I want to thank those people. I don't want to call a lot of names because, that's sometimes people don't want people to know what they've done. But they helped Promise and his family. He was from Germany. He transferred from Colorado Christian. was a big piece of what we was trying to do last year. And we go out in preseason conditioning. He has a little pain in his side, and he gets diagnosed with lymphoma cancer, stage 4, and he beats it, man. And now he stayed here all summer. He's been working out, looks really well, playing really good, and we're just looking for big things from him, because the one thing he wanted, he's a 4.0 student. He just wanted to be on that basketball court, and now he gets his chance this year. And we all prayers go up to God to make sure He covers him and make sure He does things for a promise to let him play this game of basketball. And all our guys have been behind him the entire time through his treatment and through his recovery.
That's a great story that he's delivered and came through that. Those kind of things are amazing. Just it makes you know that God is in. He's got a seat on the bench,
Right.
on your team, and that's the biggest thing about coaching. I believe, Coach, is that help kids navigate life, because once college sports are over, the real world jumps out at you, and gosh, there's everything comes, like you say. There's disease, there's jobs, there's job loss, losing friends, you name it. I mean, there's just a million things, right? And do you think that what you do as a coach prepares these kids for the bigger picture of life?
Right. And Marty, the one thing that group I had could have gave up on the season, but they pulled together, finished 23-9, one game away from the Sweet 16. I mean, they just pulled together. Mike did some of the games this year. Those guys had some big wins, and Promise was supposed to be our top player. And we end up having a Marlon Smith, who's an All-American, back-to-back All-Americans the last 2 years. Won 50 games over the last 2 years, averaging 25 wins a season. Just some lot of good things is happening at Columbus State, and those guys are just really pouring into each other. And as a coach, you love that about the program and what direction we're going in.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, Robert, and you mentioned Promise, and I'll tell you, he and 2 or 3 or 4 of your other players started coming to my church as the year went on, and were very regular attending. Promise was, and back earlier this spring, we had the 4th anniversary of our church, and Promise was on stage and told his story to the entire crowd, and went through it, from front to back, and it was an amazing talk. He spoke very well. Right. He wasn't afraid at all. And he stood up there like he had been doing it for a long time and just told his story, and it was an amazing thing to watch and to listen to, for him to tell that story that day.
Right. And I talk to Promise all the time, and I never been through cancer. He never been through it, and just watching him have that resilience to just fight through it and, be determined every day that I'm going to make it. It just brought tears to my eyes, knowing that he was fighting for his life, and he kept fighting the whole entire time. And I'm just looking forward to him reaching some of his goals in life that he wants to reach.
I tell you, those life or death situations like that, they're revealing of character, and they also let you know God looks out for us. You got an assistant coach over there, Stewart.
Oh yeah.
And he was one of our guys, when I was at AD over at Calvary. And his father, great guy. A heart of gold. His dad was just a wonderful man. He just bought into Calvary. He was a big fan. And one night he was holding the football game. He's holding the chains, and he started having, chest pains. And right in the middle of the game, and he just things got worse for him, and ended up going on to be with the Lord.
Wow.
And there's Stewart, who came out of that, and Stewart had this dream to be a coach. He wanted to be a coach, and at the end of all that problem with his dad and a big loss, and just life fell in on him. He came out of that thing, and now he's coaching with you.
And Stewart is one of those guys, man, that he'll give up anything for anybody. And one of the things that why I hired him, Marty, was just because he's a great person. He knows a lot of basketball. He does really well in the office. He went from graduate assistant this year to second assistant. So, he's moving up in the ranks. Had a chance to move on to some other schools and decided to stay in Columbus. I see his future is bright. You don't see many guys like Stewart that understands the game, understand what it takes to get guys to play at a high level. I think, he won't just be at Columbus State forever. He's going to, be at some of those top Division I schools. I really see that. And he keeps working the way he's working, man. His future is really, really bright.
Another relationship. So, just like we're saying, it's the whole thing is one big giant relationship.
Right.
Make each other better. We make each other better.
And somebody got to give you a chance. Mike Peacock, myself, we all had people that inspired us to give us chances to be what we are today. And, that's our job, to keep moving, passing it along. And I think that's one of the things about Stewart. He's going to be when we all retired and gone fishing, he's going to be the guy winning those games. So
we're going to see him on TV sitting on the bench next to somebody, going, wow, hey, I know that guy.
Right.
But Robert, going back, I said a bunch of your guys, several of your guys came to church very regularly, and you definitely had a spiritual element on your team this year and some spiritual leadership on your team. And I think one of those main guys was Pascal Volz.
Yes.
And talk about that element of your team and what it meant to have somebody on the team be that leader like that.
Oh, yeah. PJ is one of those guys, he's from Arizona. We brought him in early. He was on that team, the 27-5 team, but he didn't play that year. He came in second semester, and we decided to redshirt him. We didn't want to lose a year. And so he came in this year, and he made himself the vocal leader, the leader. He preached at my church. He's preached at a lot of different churches over Columbus. And we have we do it every year, but every second and fourth Monday, we have a men's Bible study in the President's Club, and a church will bring spaghetti. They'll feed us dinner. Different churches does it. And it's been really good for us, and PJ took upon himself to make sure the team is there, and he leads that thing, and it's been really good for our basketball team, because PJ feels like if we can't be together off the court, how we gonna make a run for a championship if we're not having ourselves together off the court. So he's really been a big difference, Mike, and we never named him leader or captain or whatever you want to call it. And he just put it among himself, and the guys just started following him, man. And he has those leadership qualities.
He does.
He's involved in a lot of things on campus and also in the community. And so it's been really good for us. And one of the guys that played intramural, Mike, you might remember, Pastor Corey Neal. He's the one that started that men's Bible study with myself and a guy named Deacon Mitchell. And they got with PJ, and we been rolling with that thing for a long time now, and I think that helps our guys just get some time away from the court and get to know each other in a different light. And guys share their stories, things they've been through, what they're going through in their family, and I think that's been really good for our team as we come together as men.
Yeah. Those things really, and somewhere those things you remember maybe more than some other things. It's more
right.
It's more than winning, isn't it? It's more than that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Robert, talk about what's been going on since the end of the season. You said that team made a really nice run and probably surpassed everybody's expectation this past year. I mean, they really played well, and you had good leadership on that team on the floor. And since then, you lost a couple of puzzle pieces, and you've been trying to work to put the right pieces in place since then. Give us an update on where you are and what it's looking like for this coming year.
Yeah, before I get started on that, we lost the All-American, Martin Smith. He's probably going to end up playing in Denmark next year, or Austria, one of those. We lost the other all-conference player, Jordan Mitchell. That was a 6'6", 4-man. And then we lost Jaden Hall Boogie from Hawaii. And then, we lost, I can't leave my own son out, Marty. We lost Trey. So those were the four. I'll probably get in trouble leaving my own son out. So we lost those 4 senior guys, and all of them brought a different element to the team. But Mike, like you said, man, when you bring in 9 guys back, those guys got in that locker room after we lost to Lander, who lost in the national championship game, and we had beat them during the year. So those guys got in that locker room and they dedicated themselves to, being better the next season, even though we were losing some pieces. And I thought Stewart and Carl Ivy and my staff did a great job of going out and getting some missing pieces to the puzzle. And, we finished up recruiting class last week. We got a 6'6" kid out of Texas that played at Texas International. He was our last signee. And, we feel like we are right where we want to be, especially with Promise coming back, Messiah Jones back, PJ back, Lee Langstaff. We got so many guys that are back. We feel like we can make a run for the title, and these guys really believe in each other, and there's no selfishness on the team. And I'm just looking forward to it, Mike. It's just been really good that these last couple of years of making a run, because you got guys that really believe, and they're not going to do anything off the court to kind of hinder their progress.
Yeah, and I want to mention something. You just brought it up, Robert. There's not any selfishness. Those guys get along with each other and they believe in each other. And I think every time, no matter what sport it is, when you have a solid team, when they pull together like that, and when they believe in each other and have each other's back, and they have that next man up philosophy going with them. If you're having a bad day, I'm gonna step it up, and I got your back. When that is going on a team, your job becomes easier, don't it?
Right. Hey, it's almost like they're coaching themselves, and you just have to monitor playing time, injuries, and that kind of thing. And Mike, to be honest with you, over the last 2 years, Jerry Addison and Wisdom Ubal on that 27-5 team were the same way, man. It's just. And I think when you go out recruiting now, you look for those type of leadership guys. It's not the guy that scored the most points. Marlon Smith transferred in here averaging 11 points a game. He ended up averaging 21 here. So, it's just finding those right guys that want to buy into what we're trying to do. We told the president, we told the athletic director, we want to win a national championship. And I think we're headed in that direction. And, sometimes Marty knows it. He's been coaching a long time. You got to have a little luck. Guys can't get hurt. Yeah. But you got to have the talent and the right frame of mind to even be, considered for a national championship. But I like where we are.
I like in that regard. One thing you taught me that I've always done ever since you explained it to me. I actually saw you do it. Was how you explained everyone's role. And not just to them as an individual, but the whole team. Right. Your role is this. And I think when everybody has that expectations of what they're supposed to do you think that helps everybody to funnel all of their activities toward, the same goal?
Yes, Marty. That thing about us being men, when it's out in front of everybody, I think everybody listening, and they're listening to what the coaches are saying about your game. And then you kind of buy into it, and the guys will call you up on it. Like, hey, man, you're supposed to be our rebounder. You're not rebounding. And I think that has been really beneficial to me and my career, just telling guys their role. And Marty, you're going to have some guys that don't like it. We had a couple of guys last year early on was trying to be something they were not. And they just kind of, but that last 11 or 12 games, you could tell they really bought into what we were trying to do. And they just kept fighting and find a way to win games, man. And it just, we're going to have that same thing this year. Guys will come in August, and we'll line them up on the line. We'll go in the President's Club, and we'll talk about, you can do this, you can do that. This is what we need you to do for us to be successful. And just, we feel like we got a good group that going to buy into their roles. And I tell people all the time, be a superstar in your role. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest players ever, but he never wins those championships without Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. So, right, you got to have superstar role players.
In my, I have a coaching class, and I have a sports psychology class. I teach both of them. By the way, I'll get you as a guest on one of those this year sometime. So
I'd love to. Just call.
We'll talk about that after when we hang up here. But I think that bleeds into everything about how to get that chemistry. You know, you want that chemistry. When everybody's hitting on all 8 and they're living in their role, then you're getting all out of them you can get. And
Yes.
so I've told every one of those kids the story of the way you do it. And how you line them up on the end of the line, explain. I mean, to me, it's one of the best techniques for clarifying what your expectations are that you could ever have.
Right. And, I learned that from, Mike Peacock. Herbert Green was that type. He's like, hey, shooter's going to shoot it. Rebounder's going to rebound us. Passer's going to assist. So, I learned from a great guy, a mentor of mine. And he said, man, you got to let these guys know that everybody can't shoot it 15, 16 times a game. We're going to have some Yandale Browns that are going to shoot it 20 times a game.
Yeah.
And,
if you're fortunate enough to have one of those, you let him go.
And some guys might be a little angry about that, but hey, it's all about winning. So,
it is. I tell you, and Robert, you brought up Herbert, and I don't know about you, but there's not very many days that go by that I don't think about something that Herbert Green said or did that had an impact for me that I remember. Somebody will say something and immediately that picture will come into my head and it'll be Herbert Green and something he said or did. And I've told many of people, and you remember hearing him say this, that perception will kill you.
Right.
And he said, so you always keep the right perception. You want people to perceive the right things about you, because if anybody gets a bad perception, it's unbelievable how hard you have to work to change that.
Right.
And he said,
about that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said, so perception is one of those things that can wreck you and wreck your life if you let it. And the trick is not to let it. And he always said, something he always said that I've told other people too is keep yourself valuable. Whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter if it's in your relationships with your family or your wife, your kids, in your job, in your hobbies, in your church, whatever it is you're doing. If you're committed, especially if you're committed to something, keep yourself valuable, because if you keep yourself valuable, then people are going to depend on you, and you're going to know they're dependent on you, and you're going to keep it up. And, so he just so many lessons, so many little lessons. And I know you learned a ton of them because you and he spent so much time together. But, I was fortunate to go on a couple of trips with him, just me and him, and just talk. And boy, the knowledge that he had and the knowledge that he passed along to people, all you have to do is look at his pedigree of people that are still involved in coaching or athletics or something that he was an influence over. And it's amazing.
Yeah. And, think about Coach Sparks. He's over there at Cal. That's one of those guys that Coach Green mentored. And, Coach Sparks, I love thanking him. He's the one that actually hired me. Herbert had moved on. So it's just, like you said, Mike, it just goes down the line, the people that he has helped and, molded into what they are today.
Right.
Hey, Robert, tell us what you think, sort of changing gears here. The state of college basketball, college sports in general today is so different. And it's still in a flux, right? I mean, they're still changing. Catch us up on some of the things that are happening now in sports and what you expect maybe going to happen next.
So the newest thing y'all probably heard about is the 5 for 5. They're getting tired of 26, 27-year-old guys playing basketball, 28 with families and 2 kids. So they got the 5 for 5 in now, where once you turn 19, you got 5 years to play basketball, and we can't give you no extra years. So if you thinking about redshirting, it got to be within that 5 years. So I think that's the biggest thing now, that you're going to have more high school kids not getting left out because everybody's going in the portal trying to recruit older guys. That's one of the main reasons people say Indiana won the championship in football in NCAA, because they had so many older guys, and they were way older than some of the SEC teams this past season. But that's the biggest thing. It hadn't passed in Division II yet, because we still have the semester rules where you got 10 semesters, and if you went to school for 2 years, if you don't go back to school and you go work at Piggly Wiggly, Kroger, Publix for 2 years, you still can come back and play 3. But I think the August meeting, we will follow the NCAA Division I and have the 5 for 5. And I think that'll help the game. I feel like once you get 24, 25, you need to be doing something else anyway. And I really felt bad for a lot of high school guys over the last 2 or 3 years because it just wasn't a lot of whole opportunities out there. And when they put pressure on you to win, a coach is going to take a 24-year-old before he takes a 17, 18-year-old. So that's where we are now. I know both of you know about the transfer portal. The NIL money is just getting bigger and bigger. They're going to probably have to end up putting some stipulations or a salary cap on the NIL stuff. But I just think that is going to be a revolving door. Other than that, it's basically the same. But I think the 5 for 5 should kind of clean NCAA basketball up for a little while anyway.
Do you think that there's going to be any change to the transfer rule?
Not right now. I think it's so hard to make a guy sit out when you don't let a coach sit out when he gets a better job. I think you'll see that every day. And I think that has really helped me, Marty. I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm so used to coaching junior college guys. They only there for 1 or 2 years. And I think now you just got to get your talent in, know what you want. And now it gives everybody a level playing field because you're only going to have those guys for a year or two, and you just got to make the best of it. And I thought my staff, Stewart and Carl Ivy, like I said, did a great job of recruiting our returning guys. So we had 9 guys returning. And I think that's a big key. Now you're going to have to really recruit your own guys. You can't get pissed off at a guy in August and think he's still going to be around in March. So you got to find ways to help that relationship. And I think myself and my staff do a great job of that. We meet with our guys at least once individually every 2 weeks. So nothing kind of gets played out of place and you don't think something different. And I learned that from Herbert that, you got to meet with these guys individually to kind of know where they're, sometimes they might have something going on at home that you don't even know about. So that has been real helpful to us also. And it helps us keep our guys there at Columbus State.
Do you think the way you recruit is going to change? I know it has changed. It used to be you just go in and talk to the mom at the table, right?
Right.
Now
it has changed.
The difference now is explain that to everybody out there listening.
Hey, everybody listening, you got to talk to the trainer. You got to talk to the AAU guy. You got to talk. It's so many people that you have to go through now, Marty. Like you said a long time ago, you either got to the girlfriend or you got to the mom and dad, and it was a done deal. But now, boy, it's they got even guys got agents now, so you have to talk to the agent. And even if you're not getting any money for the guy, the agent wants to know what his scholarship is about, how much playing time. I mean, it's if you don't want to, I tell people, I think that's why a lot of the big name guys got out of it because, it just it's too much. Saban got out of it because of that, because it's just so much that you have to deal with nowadays when it comes to that. And if you don't want to deal with it, somebody else is dealing with it, and you're not going to get that same type player with that type of talent. So, I think Roy Williams from North Carolina gave it up. I think one of the reasons Bruce Pearl gave it up because all those kind of things are happening now, and you got to deal with the agents, you got to deal with the AAU coaches, you got to deal with the runners, the trainers. So, I think that's where the game is at now. And if you don't have a strategic plan on how you're going to handle those people, you're going to be in trouble.
That's good advice for a young coach out there listening.
Right.
Yeah. Anybody especially that's going into college athletics and have your goals in college athletics, you got to know what you're getting into, right?
Yes. And because you got, and like I told you, the guys that I have on my staff now, they do a great job of that. And we kind of divide it out like, hey, you got these 3 or 4 guys. You can't let him just think that we don't care about him or we don't want him on the team and that kind of thing because that can kill your team. And I think my guys do a great job of that, making sure they talk to the parents, talk to the agent, talk to whoever's involved with that kid. And that's just been, that's been life-saving for us.
Yeah, a lot of coaches now are. I heard Coach Smart talking yesterday about how he doesn't go in the portal much. You know, he wants to steal the old model of going high school students and getting them to come to Georgia. He still believes in that. But I guess there are a lot of coaches that just recruit out of the portal now, don't they?
Right. Yeah, Marty, you can turn your computer on when you get to work at 8 o'clock and get you a cup of coffee, and you can just go down the line of the portal and you can find everything that you need. And then if you do your homework on it, you can pretty much have some guys come in on visits and you can go out and watch them play. You can schedule home visits. So a lot of guys are going back to the old model of the high school because of the 5 for 5. But a lot of guys over the last 2 or 3 years, you saw the Michigan coach just get the Dallas Mavericks job. And he had that great team at Michigan because they went in the portal and they found the top guys that kind of bought into what they were trying to do. And they won a national championship in 1 year. And I think Michigan was nowhere near the top of the Big Ten the year before. So it can be done so many different ways. You just have to find out what you're best at and, use it to your advantage.
I heard someone describe to this recruiting in this word as this is a billionaire's playground.
Right. Hey, I saw one where a guy was online the other day saying you could buy his team, but he needs $10 million so he can give it out to the players in college.
Wow.
You can own his team.
That's great.
Robert, talk about, everybody knows the big money that's going around in NIL at the Division I level, especially at the larger Division I schools. There's lots of money flowing through those programs, primarily in football and basketball, but even in baseball now and even into softball. We've heard of a lot of those women's softball players that are getting big money now in NIL agreements and things like that. But at the Division II level, it has been there and it's there. Is it growing? Is it kind of staying steady? What's going on with NIL at Division II?
You got a few teams in every league that are doing it, but you don't have everybody doing it. And I think that will change over the next 3 to 5 years because, Mike, if you see it on the top level, they got the revenue sharing and then they got the NIL where you sign your own NIL deal with a business. So you got so many different avenues to get money for your athletes. But I think on the Division II level, we got to find certain ways that we can do it. And you're going to have some supporters out there that can help you with the NIL. But I think it will never be the revenue sharing because you don't have the money coming into the schools. You don't have a packed house every night. You don't have that money to, deviate out to different universities. So it's going to be different. And I think it'll start showing. I tell people now the head coaching job is almost like a CEO. You're going to have to go out and find businesses that want to support you and support your athletes. And your athletes have got to be willing to, go talk to youth groups, go by and, do speeches to leadership groups and people of that nature. And I think it's headed that way, but you only have a very few schools that are doing the NIL in Division II.
Mm-hmm.
It's America's changing, and I think it's reflected in sports. It's just sort of sports is all like a miniature version of society in a lot of ways. Every year, but it's driven so much by money. That's there's no such thing as an amateur anymore. I don't guess, really, is there?
Nope. It's all right. They all want to get paid. And Marty, we still living on a model. Hey man, we can help you get overseas so you can make money, playing a game you love. We got 15, 16 guys overseas right now. So, everybody want to make money in whatever they're doing.
But that's a good thing that you do have a model and it's working. And be smart to copy that. We better quit talking about that, man.
Yeah. And a lot of these guys, Robert, they want to play as long as they can. Right. I mean, it's no secret. When they finish when they finish at Columbus State, they know that they're not done as a player. And the fact that you guys have the contacts and have the model in place to help them get to keep playing somewhere
Right.
They may have to go away for a little while. They may have to go further than they've ever been in their life. Some of them may leave the state of Georgia for the first time, or the Southeast for the first time, and definitely leave the country for the first time. But they still get to play the game they love, and sometimes they go and become superstars in that culture where they go to play, and it's something they never dreamed of. And playing basketball at Columbus State at the Division II level, because of the way you guys work with it, allowed them to do that. And how's that feel to you guys and your staff?
Oh, we love it because those guys get to be 23, 24, 25 years old. Right before they start in their families, they get to go see other places, how other people live. And I think it's been big for us because they come back and tell us how it feels to live in Finland, how it feels to live in Germany. So it's been really good for us because those guys come back and talk to the guys that are coming up. And so those guys start having dreams and aspirations of, I want to play overseas also. And they just work harder. I'm telling you, Mike, I think that Woodruff Gym get used more than people think. It's just people think it just sit over there as a building. Those guys are in there getting shots up late at night. They're trying to get Stu to open the gym 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's one of those things where it's been an advantage for us because guys want to work so hard so they can get a chance to play overseas and make a little money before they decide what they really want to do. And like you said, some guys, I got Kenny Funderburk who played on my 2010, 2011 team, 2012. And he's been over there 12, 13 seasons, 14 seasons. So they make a career out of it. So it's what you want to make out of it. And they make more money every year as they become better. So they love it.
Well, John Thomas is an example too,
Yes.
that played at CSU, that went down to South America. I think spent most of his career down in South America, became a superstar down there. But he also played slam ball.
Right.
For people that remember that off ESPN, the guys on trampolines,
Right.
playing the game, and he was a superstar in that league. And now John is actually helping develop kids, and that's his main business now is training kids and helping develop kids. And I know Herbert will be proud of him, for what he's doing and what he's done in his life. And he met his wife down, I believe, in Argentina.
Right.
And now he has a little girl, and they're doing. He's doing big things. But I love keeping up with him and watching what he's been doing over his playing career, and now what he's doing now that he's left the game as far as a player. Now he's becoming more of a coach and a mentor, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I see a lot of his stuff, and he called me all the time about training kids down in Auburn, Alabama. So it's been really good for him and the things he's done, and he gives back to those kids. And he'll call, and once a kid get in high school, he'll call him and say, I train this kid. Can you give him a look, a tryout? And he's helping those kids go to college and get a free education. So he's done some big things. And that's a good point, Mike. He made his money. He made a great career out of it. Now he's giving back to his community and to people all over Alabama.
It's amazing how basketball has become so international. I mean, all sports are. But, what the last few MVPs in the NBA were international guys from Europe or whatever. And now we got a World Cup coming to America, and we got a glimpse of how sports work, in other parts of the world. And it's just sports is bigger than the United States now. And I have international golfers, Coach Moore, on up his shoulder. Got a guy from Spain, got one from Ireland. They're fun as heck to coach. They're interesting guys. And it's bigger than just America now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's big all over the country, man. And like you say, Marty, I really love watching that World Cup, and it got a lot of people attention. And I think that's what it's all about now, man. Everybody wants to see. A long time ago we had the Dream Team with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and those guys, but now it's a lot of good basketball play, good soccer, everything. So it's the world we live in is getting better and better, especially with athletics.
Sure is. We better we got to get off here. We promised you 45 minutes in the clock.
I appreciate you, man.
But we always end our show with one question. Mike always asks it. So I can't thank you enough for being on here with us before he gives you this grand finale. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, Robert, what we always ask is, and we asked you this the last time you were on here, you may remember this, but you're always going to have guys who maybe play for you, who coach under you, or you're out in the community and they're going to come talk to you and they're going to say, hey, I want to be a basketball coach, or I want to be a coach. Not that they may not limit it to basketball. I want to be a coach. What are some things that I need to do and that I need to strengthen myself on if I want to become a good coach? What's some advice you would give that young man or young woman if they came to you with that question?
The first thing I would say, Mike, get yourself in front of anybody you can, whether it's going through camps, clinics. Just find the right avenue to get to those coaches so they can give you an opportunity to live your dream. I tell all my young guys now, go work at the Auburn basketball camp, go work at the Georgia Tech basketball camp. Let them coaches see you on the court and what you can do. I think a lot of times we say we want to be a coach, but we never leave Columbus. And nowadays with those camps and clinics, they pay you money to do that. So that would be my first thing. And my last thing was just work as hard as you can in your field and never sell yourself short. Hard work matters. And I think that's those two key things. Make yourself knowledgeable of your sport, but also make sure people know about you and who you are.
That's good advice right there.
Good advice. Yep. Meet as many people as you can.
Yes.
And shake hands with as many people as you can. And like Herbert Green said, make yourself valuable.
Yes.
Show your value to people and, show who you truly are. And that goes a long way. But Robert, like Marty said, we so much appreciate you being with us again. And I'm looking forward to seeing your team this year and seeing how they gel together, because like you said, you got 9 guys coming back. That's a luxury sometimes,
Right.
and especially in Division II basketball. It's a luxury to have that many coming back and that core of that team coming back. And then with the pieces that you've added and with the guys coming back from that maybe didn't get to play last year, especially Promise, you finally going to get to see what he can do on the court. And,
Right.
Just really looking forward to it and looking forward to big things out of the whole department at CSU coming up this year in the 26-27 year. But really appreciate you taking the time to be with us. You're an old friend and dear friend for both of us, for both Marty and myself. And we appreciate all that you do.
I know a lot of times, Mike, I don't get to tell you thank you, man, but thank you for everything you do for us. And you're doing a great job and everything that you're doing. And Marty, come see me, man. I miss you. Appreciate everything you do for me.
I got to get down there.
You really got to come see me, man. Come to a practice one day and we'll go to lunch. So.
Oh, that's a deal. That's a deal.
And tell your wife, Miss Diane, I said hello.
All right, buddy. And tell Trey I said hey, too. All right.
All right. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks.
All right, Robert. Hey, and ladies and gentlemen, everybody listening, once again, we appreciate you joining us. Remember, please share this podcast around. We're always found on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live platform. Share us on social media. Contact us on social media. We have social media pages. Step Up, Make a Difference, the podcast. Send us messages. Send us ideas for guests to have on here, ideas for topics to talk about. And help us continue to grow this podcast. We've had a blast doing it for over a year now. We've had some tremendous guests, and we're going to have some tremendous guests coming up more. We just had one today. So thanks for joining us, and everybody have a fantastic week, and we will see you next time on Step Up, Make a Difference, the podcast.